Okay, guys, I just want to make a quick recap video on a trade that we took on Friday and that we took with the chat. And so, kind of just going to break down the analysis behind it and how it ended up playing out. So, first things first, looking at the higher time frames for the NASDAQ, um, you can see here that we're in a daily squeeze. We had the momentum shift the day before and a strong bullish bar right below breaking that previous high, which is the most recent all-time high for the NASDAQ. And so we had a bullish higher time frame chart, right? We had a squeeze, so I was kind of expecting, okay, if this fires to the upside and continues its momentum, then more than likely we're going to see some nice trending days, bullish bars, kind of like the one that we saw today or the one that we saw the day before, right? So going down to the lower time frames with that in mind, I was looking at, okay, if the market does decide to pull back and it puts in a double top, I can look short. But at this point in time, there was no setup for me to take. So I just continued to stay patient. We did live trading. I even got off live trading and didn't take any trades and said, I'm going to be watching for this trade to develop and see what ends up happening off the 15-minute on the NASDAQ. So then once we kind of had the news digested, all that good stuff, um, we ended up making our move. So news came out here at 10 a.m. Then we had our push up. And one thing that I was paying attention to was how many candles we had trading within this range of this candle here. So you can see here, this is kind of just extra, not needed, but it was one thing that I was noticing based on the candlestick price action, right? So we had this push down. We had this candle that put in a low. Notice this candle refused to push to make a new low. This one did the same. And then also notice the fact that we were not able to close above this high on this candle or this candle. And then once we did, it kind of began the reversal that we were looking for. So that was kind of step one. We closed above, we had news come out, very indecisive candle. We had to close above. And then from there, we kind of back tested it, wiped out some people that got long based on that breakout, and then continued to push price up. So where we took entry on this trade was here. So once that red candle closed here, we started to pull back some and took entry. This red candle was the one that confirmed my entry. Stacked moving averages, momentum swinging to the upside. We had the close above the candle that made the low. So it looked like we may be staging a reversal. And also, I think a lot of times I like to anticipate breakouts. That's mainly what my trading is. And so when you look here, you can see there was a double top that we put in, right? And technically it was not a double top because we made a higher high here. Now it wasn't a significant higher high, like a significant move above this previous high, but we did make a higher high. And then we broke down. Everybody and their mom likes to trade patterns. Here's your neckline break. People got short, right? And then ultimately reversed on them and wiped them out. So I would imagine a lot of people's stops were above this level right here. Not to mention, it is kind of a psych level right near it. If you look here, 17,250, a psychological level that people may be paying attention to. And notice that's where we rejected right there. We had a fake breakout there. And so this, like, very long roundabout way to say that we had a double top here. It was a breakout, a significant area to break out of, right? Um, Reasons being, just to go over those a little bit more so you can understand a little better, we had this double top here. We had a pretty significant psychological level right around here. So we would imagine a lot of stops are going to be right around this area. And then on top of that, we were shifting momentum to the upside. So I'm going to clear this stuff off and So we took entry originally, sorry, it was on this candle here. Once this candle closed, we got in on this candle. Our exact entry was 17,216. So right around here, it just got lucky and ended up being a really nice entry on this pullback. But it was right near that 21 EMA. Then from there, we had to push up and broke above these highs. So that was a good sign. And then we started to pull back some. And so I added to my position on this candle here, added on the pullback, and I got filled right around the 17 to 43. And so so right here is where I ended up adding to my position actually on this candle here. We had this pullback. I liked how it maintained gaining momentum, how it was we had buyers step in on this pullback. And so I took entry on this candle here, sat through a little bit of a pullback, and then we got bought up again. I really should have added again to my position here, but I didn't. And then from there, I'm not a person that trims my position back. I know a lot of people do that. That's just not something that I do. If I want to have a big winner, then I prefer to be in the full position. I don't think it's that beneficial to have a 9 or 10x trade and I'm only holding 25% of my position left. I'd rather be holding my full position. And I'm also, for me, I'm not a person that is good at predicting where the top is going to be, where the market is going to stop. I don't know too many people that are. Good way to figure that out for yourself is if you're thinking about when you take profits, is there a lot of times like there's a few different scenarios that can happen. It's either going to continue in your direction and you're going to be kicking yourself because you sold your position, or it's going to not make it to your target and pull back and stop you out. And then, or it's going to go to your target, stop on a dime, and turn around. For me personally, that last option does not happen very often. So what I prefer to do is trail my stops. So if it continues to go in my direction, then it turns out to be a bigger winner than I was even hoping for. B, if the second situation happens where it moves some in my favor, pulls back and stops me out, then it will end up being a break-even trade or a smaller loss because I'm continuing to trail my stops up. So once we broke this high here, I moved my stop. So originally I had a stop loss, and I'll move this over here. Or I had my entry was right here at 16 level I was telling you about. Oops. That was my entry, and I had a 25-point stop loss. So here's my stop, roughly 25 points. Yep. And then from there, we, and then of course my average came up when I added to my position. But from there, once we had a push above this high here, or this high, the most recent higher high, I moved my stop loss up to right around here, just below the low of this candle, because this is the one that made the higher high, right? And then from there, I saw this, we pulled back, squeezed and fire off. So then once we made another high here on this candle, you can see we didn't close above, but we did make a new high. I moved my stop up to here, just below this candle here. And so no matter what, I was going to be stopped out for a little bit of profit. This would have been about 10 points, nothing too fun. But I added to my position here, so really it would have ended up being about a break-even trade. And then from there, I just continued to trail my stops up as we moved up. And then we actually ended up taking profit on the opening of this red candle here. So we closed here, we pushed up a little bit, and I took profit there. It was towards the end of the day. We were getting right near the close, and I had been managing this trade for about 4 hours, and I figured we were entering into some consolidation. We were losing momentum on the squeeze, and that's kind of just why I took profit on the position, and that's what ended up how we took profit on the trade. And so as you can see here, here's like our risk to reward. It was about 218 points with a risk of 25 points. So if I move this back to originally where it was, you can see here, here's our risk to reward on the trade. It was about 8.64. And so it was a really nice trade. We held the full position, and instead of trimming, where most people, when we broke this high, most people would be trimming their position. I decided once we broke that high and pulled back a little bit, I'm going to add to my position and press my winners. And we did that and ended up being a huge win and a nice way to end on a Friday. So that's the trade recap. I hope this helps. I did a little more in depth. And if you're interested, joining our Discord, getting our signals, this is one of the trades I alerted this week. You can go to our free Discord. I'll put the link in the description. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope it helps.